Thank you, Anita. Let's debunk the mythology about what we think loyalty means. Consider that entrenched into our thinking is being the subject of loyalty. We're expected to be loyal inside of our families, and then we go to work for people and we're expected to be loyal there. As organisations will say, leaders will say, we want loyal people. Well, what do they look like? Today, we'd like to give you another perspective on the word loyalty. Let's start with one of my own experiences. And for many of you who have been with us before, you know I've always got my lizard to cough up about when I didn't do it well or when I struggled with it. So have you ever heard these words come out of someone's mouth towards you? And they said this, it's not personal. You heard that? Have you heard that? You know, and you go, yep, it feels personal. What do you mean? That's my response. So especially when you've been hit in the solar plexus with a betrayal, it feels personal. Some years ago, a past employee of Integrity and Values took the Integrity and Values profile, which is one of our quintessential pieces of intellectual property, and attempted to replicate it. Can you imagine what my response was? Yeah, it's like taking something really special that you own and someone thinks that they can, just rip it off. Well, that didn't go down very well for me. And let me assure you, it felt personal. This was my baby and you thought you could steal it. Now, those words, it's not personal, rang in my ears. When you take it personally, it clouds your judgment. I felt totally betrayed and my feelings of hurt and disappointment just came rushing in. Those 4 words that were spoken to me by a mentor many years ago saved me. I didn't understand what they meant all those years ago. I did today though. It wasn't personal. I got over this betrayal a lot faster. Learning to separate what happened from the person and what I value was my growing edge. What's your growing edge around this? Knowing that the betrayal was to integrity and values and not to me personally. And dealing with myself was so much easier this time. How another person behaves has nothing to do with me personally. And when we can get that into our heads, we get some freedom. Otherwise, we're locked into these people just don't get it. Dealing with yourself is the biggest challenge when you feel betrayed. Who's had similar moments? Just nod your head, put your hand up, whatever. You've had similar experiences. We'll discuss today, as Anita said, what loyalty is and what it isn't. Where you as a leader will dig deep and get straight with yourself when it feels personal. Otherwise, every slight or piece of gossip inside of your organisation will occur as a betrayal. And then loyalty just flies right out the window. So today, let's talk about that. Let's debunk the mythology and give you some tools about pulling loyalty into the organisation. For those of you who are new, we are going to send you into breakout rooms and we'll pose questions. And those questions are there to have you take a look. What is this thing called loyalty? So in your first breakout room, if you haven't had the opportunity, you'll introduce yourself, tell people where you're located and what company you're with. Then the first question, what does the word loyalty mean? What does it mean? Off you go. So what is loyalty? What's the meaning of this word? Loyalty is a measure of alignment to the guiding principles and values of the organisation or the business. And it's inside of your business and your relationships. And it's the guiding principles that you are loyal to. It's the glue, that alignment, that has loyalty come alive. And people will then fight for what's important. And they're willing to do so. In the integrity and values profile, just hands up those people who've done it, yeah, who've got your measure. Go and have, if you go and have a look, go and see what your loyalty measure is, okay? And if you're a leader, you want to be scoring 7+ in loyalty. So your tendency, our definition is your tendency to put personal concerns and preferences to one side and focus on what's important for the company. This includes your tendency to not compromise the company's outcomes in your decision making. So you do not allow what you want personally to affect what you're loyal to. Many times when we work in organisations, we'll say to the leader, we are not loyal to you personally. We are loyal to your organisation. So when people, have you heard these words come out of people's mouths? Well, I'm a very loyal person. And I look at them and raise my eyebrows like this and go, yes, so what? To what? Is the question you need to ask them. What are you actually loyal to? So, it's huge, this subject, because we're confused about it. Loyalty is not to someone. I can assure you of something. People are flawed. I'm flawed. If anyone here thinks that they're not, you're living in la la land. We're flawed. And the moment that people are loyal to us personally, we're dead in the water. And as soon as we do something that challenges their thinking or their value structure, we're done for. Rather, have them loyal to the vision and values of your organisation. And loyalty will thrive inside of that radical transparency and truth. If you want a live, growing organism inside of your business and you want it healthy, then you want people to be loyal to what's important here. So, as a leader, you demonstrate that and loyalty comes alive. You don't cause loyalty. You're a demonstration of it and it arises in the environment. So here's a little exercise for you. You know I like giving you exercises. So the thing that you want people to be loyal to is your vision and your values. Now, without looking and going on Google quickly, I want you to think what your vision and your values are of the organisation. Now, be radically honest with yourself here. How much is that demonstrated on a daily basis inside of your organisation on a scale of 0 to 10? So on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is, man, you're just super people, right? 0 is, well, it's just non-existent. What number? Write the number down. What do you think the number is? Everybody write it down. I can't see you writing. Right, write it down. What's the number? Okay. Now, you want the bad news? If your number is less than 8, you've got a problem. People don't know what they're being loyal to. They have no idea. And so they will then take it to people, and people are flawed. Now, here's a little exercise for you. I want you to go and ask 10 people in your business, that question. Without looking, what is the vision and values with the distinctions? If you don't know what that is, go and look at our values-based leadership webinar. What is a distinction on a value? How much do we live it? And now the exciting thing is that's the place to go to work. You want them loyal to that. And to do that, it needs to be alive and well inside of the organisation. So how many of you just got something out of that conversation? It's a whole different way of looking at it. Now I'm going to send you to another breakout room. And here's the next question I want you to answer. Why is personal loyalty to you dangerous? Whoa, stranger danger. Go and have a conversation about that. Why is it dangerous? Off you go. Welcome back. So why is personal loyalty to you dangerous? Now, you know, when my ego's running the show, I really want people to be loyal to me. It doesn't mean that they don't admire you or think well of you. It just means you don't want them being loyal to you personally. Otherwise, you're in really big trouble because you're flawed. And when you're flawed and people's emotions get involved, they'll dismiss the business as well as you. When people leave, it becomes really dangerous if a leader leaves an organisation and people were loyal to them personally. No, have them be loyal to the thing that matters here. But here's something much more important. If people are loyal to you personally, then what you don't get, remember our 3 secrets, vision and values, fighting clean and fun? We've highlighted the fight clean today. You will not get the clean fight if people are loyal to you personally. They won't fight with you because then you won't love them anymore. I remember recently talking to a CEO and she kept saying to me, oh, but they love him. And I went, what? Who cares? What are they being loyal to? Because if they love you and you love them, and then I have a fight with you, am I going to lose the love? No, you can care deeply about your people. You want them to be loyal to the vision and values and the principles that guide your organisation. You will stop the clean fight if they're loyal to you personally, and you will get a very dirty fight. Do you remember, for those of you who are old enough and are grey-haired like me, the movie The Godfather? Is really quintessential, this movie, right? It's fabulous. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. The mafia boss demands personal loyalty to them. Then you lock people into a prison of your making. You lock both of you behind prison bars. And if there's any kind of notion that you don't exactly look like you're loving me and kissing my feet and kissing the ring, you're no longer in the in crowd. And they have a saying, mia casa nostra. You are in the in group. So it's very important that you don't lock people in with that kind of behaviour, because otherwise, when you get it wrong, you are going to get retaliation. And people inside of organisation do retaliation very sneakily. They just don't quite finish things properly. And then they say that isn't what they're doing. So passive-aggressive behaviour will become the major thing that's happening. And you as a leader will trade results for looking good and having people like you and love you. So You trade that and it costs the organisation. Where's my slide? No. Sorry, guys. Just lost my place. So when you trade results for looking good, that is that they love you and they're loyal to you, you're in trouble. And you let that personal loyalty to you hijack everything. Remember what I said, it doesn't mean they do not think well of you or admire you or like the way you lead. You want them to challenge you. If they're loyal to you personally, they won't. They will let things slide. There is a huge cost for that. And you just traded results for them being loyal to you personally. So in leading, you want to become principle-driven, not personality-driven. Because then you and them do not feel betrayed. There's a huge distinction here to get about what it means. Now, some of you will think that you've got loyalty really handled inside of your organisation, but here's a horrible question for you. How many of you know that the gossip tree is alive and well inside of your business? How many of you know that? Come on, you know. It's alive and well, right? And here's something. Personal loyalty to you as a leader feeds and fertilizes the gossip tree because they can't challenge you. So what they do is they talk about it behind your back. Adherence to values encourages people to speak up, and the gossip tree dies because there's nothing fertilizing it. So here's a little check for you, little piece of homework. I want you to go out into your organisation and notice where the gossip is and then put a stop to it. Ask yourself, what value is not being adhered to here? What's the commonly held value inside of the organisation that is not having people speak up? Then bring it to every conversation. Then loyalty to you dies, and what grows is loyalty to the vision and values of the organisation. There's a lot in that conversation, hey? It's huge. So let's go to our next question. Let's pretend we don't have all those horrible things happening in our organisation. What does loyalty build then? If you get it going, what does it build? Off you go. Go and answer that question. Welcome back. So what does loyalty build? Firstly, team. If you have people loyal to the vision and values of your organisation, you create in that moment a team where people pull together and work together. But here's the next thing that actually really trumps that one. When you build loyalty inside of your organisation, you get synergy. Now, what is synergy? I like the word. I learned it about 35 years ago, and I love the English language. It comes from two words, synchronized energy, but actually it comes from the Greek word synergos, which means working together. Loyalty builds people working together, and the level of synergy when it happens, 1 + 1. So everyone knows what 1 + 1 is? Yes? Okay, good. No, it's not 2. It's 25. or whatever you want it to be. I like 25. I've always used 25 for about 35 years now. So 25, 67 if you like. 66, my age if you like. It doesn't matter. 1 + 1, when you have loyalty, equals whatever you want. You get synergy. Now, you want to kill that synergy? You create any kind of special people inside of your organisation. How many of you feel like there's the untouchables inside of your business? Right? How many of you own family businesses or work inside of family businesses? Yep. Well, let me tell you something. This is what goes down in family businesses, and I've seen it everywhere. Right? It happens inside of corporates as well. You decide you'll hire your son, your daughter, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, whoever you decide, or your best friend. Now, I happen to work with my best friend and my son. How about that? Let's get a bit of nepotism running, right? So how do you stop it? We work in a lot of family businesses, and one of the things that we say to the children of any family business, do not call them mum or dad at work. Do not. The moment you do that, you create mia casa nostra. You're in the in crowd. You're in the in place. Yeah? If your friends work there, you want to delineate it and go, no, when you work here, I'm not your friend, I am the boss. And it's a lot easier. If you want to talk to me as your friend, then you've got to set up rules. And the rules are, I don't need my friend, my boss right now. I want my friend. Okay, then we're going to change locations. We're walking out of the office. We're doing something different. Because otherwise you create that nepotism and you kill the loyalty. How many of you have seen this? Yeah? You've seen it. So set it up so it doesn't happen. Because in the moment that you do that, a value has been betrayed inside of the business and people will not challenge it. So you want synergy where 1 + 1 is 62? Then you're going to change how you manage this. And synergy is the most exciting thing. Synergy means that the sum of the parts is much greater. Yeah, much greater. You can do amazing things with synergy, where 1 + 1 is 25. Okay, let's go to our next question. So we've talked about why it's dangerous, what it builds. Now I want you to answer this question. When is loyalty valuable? When is it valuable? Off you go. Go and have a chat. Welcome back. So when is loyalty valuable? By the title of our talk, you may think when it's rough and it's tough. Well, no, anytime. Anytime loyalty is valuable. So when times are good, loyalty is amazing. You can run faster than anyone else. When times are tough, loyalty is amazing because you can run faster than anyone else. You will make and do creative things that no one else thought of because the team pulls together. So whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Loyalty is valuable. One of my personal mentors was Robert Kiyosaki. This was 30-odd years ago. And Robert used to say, when the market is down, it's a good time to make money. When the market is up, it's a good time to make money. So in business, when things are tough, loyalty is valuable. In business, when things are great, loyalty is valuable. Either way, there's a wonderful Ubuntu saying that is, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So if you want synergy and team, loyalty will thrive inside of that and you will go far, much further together. Remember my story at the beginning when a team member decided that they would just rip off some of our stuff? It wasn't the only thing that was being done. What was amazing was the team coming to me and saying, integrity and values will survive this. It will be okay. And we'll do whatever it takes to pull this business through. And we did better. Because our people and your people will know what they're fighting for. And they get clear about whether that fight is clean or whether it's dirty. And it's easy to see if it's clean or if it's dirty. So when the wheels fall off, you're going to need your team. When the wheels are well oiled and well put in place, you need the team. It works either way. So that's one way. Here's something else that I have found really great. When I need to have one of those tough come to Jesus conversations or a little prayer meeting, right? Loyalty serves me. Because if I know that the person is loyal to the organisation, I can have the conversation. If I don't know, it's a lot harder to have the conversation. When you're recruiting, remember we measure loyalty. Do you want the killer question to ask when you're recruiting? Who wants it? No, I won't give it to you. Okay. I'll give you the killer question to ask on loyalty. Okay. So when you're employing new people and you want to know whether or not they actually are loyal, you know, people, oh, I'm so loyal. Yeah, okay. Answer this question for me. When did you go above and beyond without any thought of reward? I just did it. Why? Because it was there to do. Now, you'll notice that if they're coming up with some fabulous story, you'll know. Okay? So it's a great question. Can you put yourself out? Can they put themselves out and go for what's important for the organisation? So what drives loyalty? I think what we've learned this morning is that what drives it is an extraordinary alignment to the vision, values, principles of the organisation, because then they know what they're fighting for and what they're aligning to. People love to belong. We're tribal. Have you noticed there's very few hermits in the world? We even gather in big cities now and share our germs. And, you know, like we love people, right? We love being around them. Even we love to hate them, right? But we want them. So let me give you this. When loyalty is thriving and you find the place where you belong, it feels like home. And one of the past presidents of the National Speakers Association is a guy by the name of David Griggs. And David coached me for a while on presentation skills, great trainer, right? And he said to me when he arrived at National Speakers, he settled into his chair. He said, I sat there like a nice big fat pig. He said, I was just in my mud. It was so good. This was my tribe. I belong here. And he became one of the greatest presidents that the organisation ever had. He was one of these amazing guys. He's still alive, lives in South Australia, amazing guy, just love him. And he's tribal. He absolutely drove the vision of the National Speakers Association in Australia and set it up to be something extraordinary. So, what's your tribe? Who are you inside of that tribe? Because whether you like it or not as a leader, your people are watching you. They can see exactly what you're doing. Do not pay lip service to the vision and values because they will judge you for it. And when you make a mistake, own up. You cannot abandon them and trade in for doing things that are easy rather than doing what's right. Loyalty demands that we do as leaders what is right, and our unwavering commitment to The vision and values of the organisation is what will guide it. Be a demonstration of what you want to see inside of your organisation on a daily basis. I'll finish with a story that some of you may have heard before. I told the same story in our values-based leadership. There's an organisation in Western Australia called Centrals. They didn't need COVID. This was a few years ago. They had their COVID. Right? It was terrible. They lost 45% of their revenue overnight. And there was a huge cleansing inside of the business. What they did was use one of their values to decide whether or not they had loyalty from people. And the value that they used was commitment. Their distinction on it, we are all in. So when it got really tough and hard, they'd simply say, are you in? And it was okay if you weren't. Yeah? But it gave them something to hang on to. So do not allow anything other than the vision and the values to decide the level of loyalty. And I love this quote from Albert Einstein. Do not be a person of success. Rather, be a person of value. Stay loyal to the vision and values of your organisation. Be a daily demonstration of it in your actions, in your words. Own up when you're not. Clean it up because your people are watching. There's a great book written by James Coomey, A Higher Loyalty. I highly recommend you go and read it. When you live inside of that higher loyalty and it's not you personally, you build and empower your team to be responsible inside of your business. Go and have that fight because it'll be worthy of your life. Thank you.